This is a boy in Gaza with the flesh of his family sticking to his back. The only reason this image isn't front page news across Western media is because the perpetrator is Israel and the victim is Palestinian. And if you go to the reason why it's not on the news, if you look at the BBC, the main news story is actually children going back to school. That little boy with the flesh of his family on his back with the rucksack. And I looked and I scrolled. Not a single story of the ongoing genocide, the massacre in Gaza, nothing. I looked in the newspapers, Manjaro jab. I don't know what's going on in the newspapers. Emails show Andrew Rayner, Andrew Rayner's wealth. Rayner, most Britons would refuse to fight for your country. Drill the North Seas, says Badenoch. Nothing on Gaza. Not a single story anywhere. There's a little boy with a rucksack carrying his dad on his back. That's where we're at. It says here, Israel has just bombed a clay oven in a crowded street in the middle of the day where people are gathering to break their rarely found bread in Al Nasser neighborhood, west of Gaza. Killed countless more dead. There was a little girl without a head. Stage 5 famine. And they're bombing where they make bread. Instead of being on his way to school, carrying his backpack on his shoulder, he carried on his back the remains of his father's flesh. They clung to him as if they knew whom to hold on to, and as if they knew the way to embrace him in a final hug. But this was not like any hug. It was a hug full of blood, sorrow, and pain that can never heal. It will haunt him just as those remains clung to him, and the pain will stay with him until he's dead, until he dies. Instead of a path filled with trees, the sound of birds, and the loveliness of school. It was a path filled with dust, massacre screams, and the scattered body parts across every balcony of the house. Instead of being a child, you became an old man. For 23 months, the world has grown desensitized. The world watches in silence, as though Palestinian blood must flood the earth before it stirs a conscience. The terrorism that Israel has been participating in is no longer shocking. It's been normalized. News that has unfortunately become all too common. A child's heart stopped in the operating room after one of his limbs was amputated without anesthesia. This is what families experience every day in Gaza, more deaths, more grief. Some of these who are weeping as they look at their slain loved ones for the last time could be killed any time in the coming few days. This is a genocide, a slaughtering campaign carried out by Israel and funded by civilized countries. I wrote this yesterday, I was reading it out. There's no words. Think of all the stories, all the lives lost. Think of all of our powerlessness and think of how it makes us feel. Think of how we cried and think of all of Gaza screaming and crying, the death, the hunger. But remember and never forget the love, the fortitude, the resilience and perseverance. Think of the cactus and the land of the olive trees and the land of the sad oranges, and never forget Mariam and Anas, and never forget Hein Rajab and all the journalists and artists and paramedics, and be there for those that are still there, and hear and stand with them no matter what happens, and know how we are all connected through love, understanding, and wanting a better, different world, carrying memories that how things were are also now, and hold on and cherish what we still have, each other, and cry for happiness and joy and strength to carry on, and stand up to colonialist genociders and power and authority, and believe in a future that is free from tyranny, and all because you refuse to look away. This morning I saw this video of Mariam, and she was driving along, and as she was speeding past, just briefly, for a fraction of a second, I saw this sunbird painted on the wall. I rewound it and stopped the video and started crying. Now, another day, all I can think of, all I can cry about, is the boy with the flesh on his back. It's not on the BBC News. It's not in the papers. I suppose that's genocide, isn't it? It is the primary purpose of genocide. It's for people to not recognize that it's happening. That's how they do it. That's how they get away with it.